There were 4 other players, but all the hands seemed to be going to one man they called Monty, and he was enjoying his time at the table. Ellis Stewart lost 3 hands in a row. He got back a little on the 4th deal, and he felt good about what he might get on the 5th. He thought he might have a winner. Ellis trusted that gut feeling that a winner was coming, and there was no better feeling. He felt it now. That irresistible pull to the table that let him know he wasn't only about to get a good hand, but he was about to get an unbeatable hand. The sort of hand they'd be talking about for days after he left. Ellis had made his living off of other men feeling that same irresistible pull and being wrong, but Ellis, when he had that feeling deep in his gut, he was usually right about it. Monty upped the ante, and Ellis found himself without the means to meet the bet. "I've got something here that might carry some value," Ellis said. He pulled his new 6-shooter from the holster on his hip, and that began a general commotion at the table that involved 2 of the other men reaching for their own guns, one of them dropping below the table, and Monty George left his seat in a hurry. "Whoa!" Ellis Stewart shouted, holding the gun harmlessly with just his thumb and forefinger in as non-threatening a way as he could. "Everyone stay calm!" Ellis laughed at the uproar, and the men who reacted slowly returned their guns to their holsters and settled back in their seats. Ellis set the 6-shooter onto the table. "What is this?" Monty George asked him. "Well, sir, this is an item of extreme curiosity, particularly for you Kansas men. It so happens that I was recently traveling through the town of Ocate down in New Mexico territory, and the marshal there had a man known as Black Jack Dorsett in his jail. Have you heard of Black Jack Dorsett?" "I reckon most of us have," Monty George answered. "Well, this very gun here is the gun that the Marshal of Ocate confiscated from that man before putting him in the jail." "Is that right?" "It is." "Let me take a look at that." George picked the gun up from the table and examined it, pursing his lips as he turned it over in his hands. He'd never seen the gun before, and this gun looked like it hadn't been much out of the box it came in. Dorsett kept a clean gun, but not clean like this. Jack Dorsett's guns always showed their wear. "How did you come to get Black Jack Dorsett's gun?" Monty asked, setting it back down on the table. "I bought it off the Marshal down in that little town," Ellis said. "And when Dorsett is dead, this'll be worth a lot of money." A couple of figures walking into the bar caught his attention just then, and Monty George let a wide grin slide across his face. "And how soon is Black Jack Dorsett going to be dead?" he asked. "Any day now," Ellis said, thinking he had a bluff going. He simply wanted to use the gun to keep the bet going so that he could play his hand. "If he's locked in a jail in New Mexico, then how come Black Jack Dorsett just walked through the door?" Monty asked. Ellis swung around in his seat so fast he thought his neck might snap. 2 men were standing just a few feet behind him. The one nearest he did not recognize at all, but the one behind him Ellis recognized as Black Jack Dorsett from the time he was held in the jail in Ocate. "Well, I should be leaving," Ellis said. And he might have gotten away, except that he turned to collect the money he'd put on the table. "Hello, Monty," Dorsett said, stepping to the table so that he was standing directly behind Ellis Stewart. "Howdy there, Jack. I was just about to get your gun back for you." Dorsett frowned. "Were you?" "This man here says that he bought your gun off a Marshal in New Mexico when you was in a jail cell. Says that's your gun." Dorsett looked at the table where Monty motioned and saw the gun there. "That's no gun I ever owned,"